Alright, as you know, I am Miss Pickslay, and my project is on Katie Davis, a missionary woman who's the same age as me, who lives in Uganda. I chose this quote to kind of embody who she is as a person. So she says, "I'm not here," meaning Uganda, "I'm not here to eliminate poverty, to eradicate disease, to put a stop to people abandoning babies. I'm just here to love." So in the opening pages of Kisses from Katie, a book that she wrote, and it's a New York Times bestseller, Katie Davis shows her heart for the one. Her purpose is to love each and every single person, whether big or small, whom God brings into her life. And ever since I began reading her book, I've been drawn to this young woman's attitude. She's the same age as me, as I said, and she is changing lives daily. It's amazing. So I chose to do my project on her because she's the kind of woman that I want to be, that I aspire to be. She does not consider herself to be special in any way. She says that she is simply someone who chose to say yes, an ordinary person serving an extraordinary God. So I created this website, and it's a place where you can navigate through the different genres that I created to show the research that I did about Katie. And the more that I worked on this project, the more excited I became about her life and how I wanted to live with a similar perspective and purpose. Can you see just how much joy she has, the humor, and the beautiful girls that she's adopted, the lives she's changed? I read her blog as part of my research, and her blog inspired me so much. The interviews that she gave me a bigger picture. And to portray my findings, I chose to create a mock Facebook page using a Google Doc template, and then a one poster, which will come at the end, a prayer and an email, and each piece gives a small insight into who she is as a person. So the first genre I did was a Facebook page. And the way that I created this was I pulled status updates from her Facebook page and also used some information from her Twitter account. It describes over here on the left-hand side how she works at Amazima Ministries. She established that organization. She lives in Uganda, and she's originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Down below, there's a list of friends, which I got from my own Facebook page because her Facebook page does not list her friends. I put certain likes, so the Amazima Ministries is there, and you can't really see it. It's in tiny, tiny letters, but over here it talks about how she's the author of Kisses from Katie, and it has a link to her blog. Over on the right-hand side, typically on Facebook, this is kind of old school Facebook, but over here on the right-hand side you see ads, and these are some organizations that she has advertised on her Facebook and Twitter. The two status updates that I decided to focus on was how she got married, and to me that was such a beautiful thing that she sacrificed so much, and she left behind this perfect life, but God has still blessed her, and she ended up getting married. I thought that was really cool. And then she started the Amazima school and posted that she was really excited about that. So that's to give a little bit of insight and introduction into who she is. And then two of my other genres focus on one particular story that portrays her heart of compassion, faith, and obedience. And what I did was I created a prayer from the perspective of an older woman seeking help from Katie, and then there's also an email that goes with it. But first, I wanted to show you a bit of this prayer. Did you hear the lights? Dear Mungo, please show me what to do. I look down at this sweet child in my arms and I feel helpless. She is 2.5 years old and she has never walked. I do not know what is wrong with her, but there is no money to visit the hospital. I have felt in my heart that you have said, go and visit the white woman with many children and ask her for help. But Mungo, I did this. And day after day, she says no. She says no once, she says no twice. So why you tell me go to her? I am Sarah's Jaja and I can do nothing. Please tell me something different, or speak to the heart of the white woman and to take Sarah, to take her and to love her. So this prayer shows the distress and the pain that this old woman was experiencing. I based this prayer off of what Katie describes in her book about this older woman who would come to her day after day after day, asking her to take this baby. But Katie, which I'll show in the email, she was really struggling with taking in so many girls and just feeling overwhelmed and like she couldn't take any more. So the email I created is based off of what I read in her book, and this is an email that I made up as her writing to her dad. Dearest Dad, do you remember how you tried so hard to convince me to go back with you, to return to the States? Even though I disagreed with you, I love you for fighting so hard in what you thought was best for me. And I love you even more for ultimately allowing what God thinks is best for me. Daddy, I know it may seem crazy at times, but I love my life here. Sure, there are frustrations. The rules here for adoption make it very hard for me to do what God has called me to do. And I hit backspace. That was a bad idea. Very hard to do what God has called me to do. They say I must be 25 years old and at least 21 years old than the child being adopted. They think it is bad for me for anyone to have more than 5 children. But how can I say no when God has called me to say yes? Just the other day, an old woman came to me with her 2-year-old granddaughter who cannot walk. I just told God, no more kids. And here was one needing a home. I told her no, but she kept coming back. Then one night God told me, your next child's name is Sarah. So I prayed and prayed. I dreamed of her. I longed for her. I missed her. The old woman came again, begging me, this time kneeling in front of me. Then she said these words, God keeps telling me to come here for help. Please help Sarah. Right then and there, Sarah's little hand grabbed hold of mine, and she looked at me, and a soft-pitched, high-pitched voice called me Mama. So you see, Dad, even when I want to say enough, God keeps placing these girls in my life. And the beautiful thing is, He then helps me care for each one. So some might call me crazy, others might call me irresponsible, but I'm okay with that. I love you and miss you so much, Daddy. Your girl, Katie. So this email shows some of the frustrations and hardships that she was going through and wanting to do so much for so many people and never knowing, okay, is this enough or is this enough? But she kept being obedient to just whatever God called her to. And my last genre is this wanted poster, because the way that Katie lives out her life is that every child is wanted. And either she takes in that child or she finds a way to provide for that child. So I put that this child will be cared for and loved by Katie Davis, and that child is priceless. There is no price that you can put on a child. Every child that God put in front of Katie, she found to be priceless. One that she will love, care, and provide for. And again, she is who I want to be. She has the attitude that I want to emulate. Doing this project helped guide my current perspective and reawaken old passions. And I'm excited to keep reading about Katie's adventures and create some of my own. So, if you want to know more about Katie, you can look at my work site on my website. I've listed below all the resources that I used in my project. Thank you so much. All right. So, take a second and think through what went well, and you can stop, Tyler.